I grew up playing basketball. My dad was a coach. I started playing when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I played all the way up through high school. And I remember in high school, I was playing with my best friend. We were on the same team, and we were just about to play the best team in the entire state. And what this team would do is they would go around and they would pull this best player from this team, pull the best player from that team, pull the best player from this city, and they would put them all on the same team, and they would go around and just blow everybody out all summer and beat everybody about 20 to 30 points. So we were getting ready to play this team, and my best friend was like, "Hey, Jordan, come here real quick." And I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "I'm thinking, man, if we make every open shot, if we get every loose ball, if we get every steal," and I'm getting excited. I'm like, "You think we can pull the upset? Like, you think we can pull the upset here?" He said, "No, if we do all that, we might be able to get a tie." So, so that was his mindset going into the game. I was steady trying to think, and my dad was the coach, so he was trying to think of how we could pull this upset. And his game plan was, we don't have a shot clock. Let's just pass the ball and cut the entire time. Let's not play an up and down game. Reduce the amount of possessions. And hopefully, at the end of the game is going to be close because this team has never played anybody close. They blow everybody out. So he said this will be like hopefully their first close game, and maybe they'll start playing a little tight, start turning the ball over, missing open shots toward the end, and we might be able to steal one. Well, the game plan, we were winning at halftime, but we ended up losing by 6. So the game plan almost worked. We played them closer than probably anybody played them that whole summer. So the game plan, it worked. It just didn't work to get a W. So you're asking, why am I telling this story? The reason why I'm telling this story is because I think this is similar to what Florida State is thinking right now. I think they're going to use a similar game plan to what my dad and I used way back when I was in high school. I believe they're going to use a real similar game plan to something like we saw last year. But before we get into what that is, my name is Jordan Harris. I'm your favorite host in the entire world, and this is Sports Truth. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. Your currency to pay me is subscription. So if you do feel like you're being entertained, if you feel like you're learning anything, please do pay me with your subscription. I appreciate it. Okay, so now let's talk about what I'm thinking Florida State, like the game plan that they're going to use that resembles the game that we saw last year. Do you remember last year what happened to Florida State right before the ACC championship game? Jordan Travis got hurt, and they had to bring in a backup quarterback, Brock Glenn. Didn't have a whole lot of confidence in him. He was a freshman. He was all over the place, right? So I think Florida State's going to use the same game plan from that game. And what was that game plan? It was a bunch of handoffs, a whole bunch of handoffs. And whenever they did throw the ball, they didn't throw it north. They were throwing it east and west. Bunch of screen passes all over the place. They were either throwing it bubble screen to the left, bubble screen to the right, or they were doing a little quick screen to the running back. If they didn't do a screen pass, they were doing a quick little run. Then they also mixed in some wildcat. I believe Florida State, the coaching staff, I think that they understand that they are overmatched here. I also believe that they believe if they play a close enough game and if they reduce the amount of possessions, meaning if they just run the ball, keep getting first downs, run the clock, if they continuously do that, it reduces the amount of opportunities for Miami to be on the field, for Miami's offense to be on the field. And I believe their thought is if they can keep the game close and get to the fourth quarter, anything can happen. That was our game plan. We ended up losing, but that was our game plan. And I think Florida State is going to have the same mindset here. They know they're overmatched, and their whole game plan is let's just keep getting first downs. Let's keep milking the clock. Let's not give our quarterback the opportunity to turn the ball over because they know if they turn it over, it's a wrap. So they just like, let's get to the fourth quarter, keep it close, and maybe Cam Ward and maybe this offense will finally start to feel the pressure because this is a crazy underdog that we're playing against right now. They're 1-6. Hell, it's a crazy underdog, but it's also a rivalry game. So the pressure would go way up through the roof playing a tight game against Florida State, a 1-6 Florida State team at that. So here's a perspective that I want to make sure that we all think of, and that I'm hoping that our Hurricanes are thinking of. Have you seen? I'm sure you have seen those books way back in the day, like the Goosebumps books that had like the Choose Your Adventure. You get to a certain page and it says, if you want to do this, go to page 13. If you want to do that, go to page 16. So I feel like this game for the Hurricanes is going to be a choose your adventure type of deal. All right, so on one end, if Florida State comes out and do what I'm so sure they're going to do, which is run, bubble screen, run, over and over and over. If the Hurricanes stop that in the first quarter, if that just isn't working for Florida State and the Hurricanes are constantly putting points on the board, let's say if we end the first quarter 17-0, 14-0, Florida State's going to be forced to throw the ball down the field because they need to get some points. So if they're down 2 or 3 possessions at the end of the first quarter, I'm telling you, this direction is going to be, okay, Florida State, you got to get aggressive. If you're going to keep this close, you got to go, as they say, sorry for the lack of a better phrase, you got to go balls to the walls on this and just start throwing the ball wherever you can, try to get a few points here and there, throw the ball deep, throw it across the middle. If they do that, it'll go from 14-0 or 17-0 all the way to 38-3 real quick. Like by the middle of the third quarter, we'll probably be up 35 points if that happens. Now, that's one direction. Now let's say the other direction hits. All right, so this is the other direction. Florida State comes out and they do what we know they're going to do. Bubble screen left, bubble screen right, run up the middle. And then they punt it. And then bubble screen left, bubble screen right. But then they do a wildcat and they score a touchdown on it. And it's like, okay, now the score is 7-7. And then Florida State gets the ball again. They run up the middle, they get nothing. But then they do a bubble screen and they score a touchdown on that. So now they got 14 points. If that happens, they're going to do that the entire game. They're going to protect the ball. They're not going to put the ball in harm's way. That is how the game will, or that is how the game can be close. If we don't stop this bubble screen left, bubble screen right, run up the middle, if we don't stop that from the beginning for the entire first quarter, they're going to do that the whole game, and it will be a close game. I'm telling you. They got to stop it in the first quarter. They have to, because that's going to cause Florida State to put this quarterback. If he throws the ball down the field, he's going to turn the ball over. He's going to. I just believe the first quarter is going to dictate what they do for the rest of the game. That's my perspective on it. So, once again, my name is Jordan Harris. I appreciate you watching the video. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Florida State is going to come out and replicate what they did against Louisville, where they're doing wildcat, they're running the ball, they're passing to the left and the right, but they're not looking down the field? Do you think they're going to do that? Or do you think they'll come out confident and they will have their freshman quarterback out there throwing the ball up and down the field? Do you think they will be crazy enough do you think they'll be crazy enough to do that? I know our defense hasn't been wonderful up to this point, but Florida State's offense has been tragic. So let me know your thoughts on that. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate it. Take care. God bless. Peace.